So I decided to come back and having a look first thing, like what happened, guys? I've been gone for 2-3 weeks and all of a sudden things are just going crazy in the crypto market at this point. And right now we're sitting on a very major support line, guys. This is a very important support line that we're on at this moment. It's basically the regions of the early 30Ks, and it's basically, it's the floor that we stand on, and we break this floor. It takes us down to a very much further down floor that we don't want to hear at times. I personally didn't want to hear it at times, but now we're at that point where, I think obviously with this Luna and the selling off on the Bitcoin and that, it's because I was thinking like the stock markets aren't even crashing that hard. Things are not even going that crazy. Why are we having such a pullback in the markets? And then obviously understanding that, Kwon and them are probably selling off a lot of their Bitcoin to keep the peg. And now we're getting this big pullback in the market. But now we're at a crunch level, guys. Now we're at the level there. We don't hold this ground floor. 20K is finally back into the picture of things, which was getting away from us at some point this year. But now we're there again. And this is where the conviction comes back. This is where the hard part comes again. We've been here through it all. We're going to go through it all again. I'm going to be showing you guys through Bitcoin the different levels that I'm looking at. If we do have a bounce here, where we could be looking at next, because I do feel we should offload on the next pull up to the upward side. Just to be sure, just to be looking after ourselves. And obviously, if we break these levels, where can we go next? I'll be going through some altcoins as well, because if we don't hold this level, altcoins can go back to entries that were in 2020 before even the May crash, which is actually quite crazy on where we can actually get. So guys, no more wasting time. Let's get into it. Yo guys, what's happening? I've missed you all. I have been on the break for a while. It's actually been fantastic. I actually only opened my charts up this morning and started drawing things again. I haven't done it for the last 2-3 weeks, and to be honest, it's probably been the best 2-3 weeks in the last year. It's been really nice to shut off. I've managed to do quite a bit in that time, but I do actually want to have a chat with you guys just now. I think let's get through the main charts for now. If you are brand new, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, make sure all of our social media platforms, make sure you're following myself, Sheldon _ Sniper. I have been quiet on Twitter, but I will be hitting it back quite quickly and launching a few things I think you guys are going to be quite surprised about. And guys, to our normal loyal community, what's up guys? Thank you for all the love and support. I've received thousands of messages from you guys. It means a lot that you guys support me through these times. I see the haters are having fun. They was just sitting there saying, oh, you run away when the markets are great. I've been here for the last 4 months through all of this redness, through all of this whole time over here, and through this whole time. I'm here all the damn time, and I chose to take a bit of a break. So say what you want. We'll keep kicking your asses, and I'll keep proving you wrong. So let's get into it, guys. Let's turn off the music here. Let's have a look to see, this is serious now. And I know it's quite bad, guys, like looking at Luna and stuff, and I'll get through it shortly. Like, this was a big knock. I looked at my portfolio and I was quite shocked. And this is where the conviction always comes back to say that, the damage has been hit hard now. It's done what it's done at the moment. We may not be getting the strong run within this month and within the next few weeks to come. The markets could slow down. We could get a lot more redness. But this comes the strong part now of the conviction of, we got to look at maybe only end of the year, do we actually really start getting strong hits again, or in the next 2-3 years? Maybe it sticks to the original plan of every 4 years is the bull run. Maybe, last year was the full bull run. And we might go into consolidation for a while and we'll go to accumulating market for a while. That might be the option. Where, we look at the 2017 run, 2021, 2025. Is that only when we're going to really get the massive hit? Remember, who made all the money in this last bull run? It was all the 2017 investors. The guys that are in those days were the guys that really made a lot of money in this bull run. And that's sort of how it works. You basically got to go through the full bull run. That's what gets you into crypto, is the bull run, because everyone's hyping and everyone's this. And, don't feel wrong if you bought the top or you bought highs. I got entered into that market. I think every single person that joins crypto buys some sort of top. That's how you get introduced. You get introduced when the stuff's hot and everything's moving. And if you stay through the 3-4 years, maybe it comes sooner, as I feel the fundamentals are better more than ever than what they've ever been in the market. But this is the time now where it takes a little bit of time through that. You look to reward by having conviction through these times and staying through these markets. End of the day, the market's just doing what it does. It doesn't give a shit about you. It doesn't give a shit about your feelings. It doesn't give a shit about nothing. It just acts the way it does at times. And right now we're on the major support. We're on the support, guys, that, you know, from the early of January, you know, in these sort of levels where we were at, you know, we kept dipping down to these zones. This was, for me, the big whale up zone. You know, this is even when, like, the days of MicroStrategy and Tesla and all the times, you know, they were buying all in these ranges over here. And now we're back at those levels. And you got to think that there's so much big money sitting at these zones. Are these big guys going to start, you know, maybe they were all floating at the tops and starting getting out when the markets were raging to the upward side? Or they're going to start exiting at these points as well, which can really get, because, you know, for them, do they want to buy 25K, 30K Bitcoin? Maybe there's a possibility of getting it at 20K. And for them, I feel that Bitcoin, nothing's changed. Fundamentally, it's only just grown. But, you know, where do the big guys, you know, I still feel that we're at this level now where we've come back to 30,000. That's great. But if we go down to anywhere near 15,000, I think we're going to see one of the biggest buys we've ever seen in our lives. Like, and I think they're prepping for that too. Like, I feel we're going to get a big capitulation candle at some point. May it be here. We will see as we go. But there is obviously the next level. So what I'm looking at, guys, is these previous lows, and especially the low of the 29,000 is a major support for me at this point. It was a point we always held up, you know, at these zones. We always got volume spikes. They were holding it down. And now we've gotten down to the zone. I haven't seen a big red volume candle like that in a while. And it hasn't even started, guys. You know, if we break this level, you're going to see tremendous fear. You're going to see fear like you've never seen before, where we're really going to have a complete shutdown, like a flush out of the market. Then you're going to see real panic, you know. And when we get that, you know, the same way I've been speaking, when we break trends or we break things to the upward side, you know, as soon as we get through a level where there's a resistance that's far from the next one, that's when we really like to extend. That's what you can see clearly on the chart. Is this is support, guys? And the next support's only sitting early 20,000s. You know, that's literally the next support that we're looking at. And then you have the one below that, which is sitting at 20,000 to 19,000. And then you got the regions of the 2017, which I think if we do drop 29K is where we're going to be going. We'll be going to the previous highs of the 2017 thing and test that as support. We never actually tested that as support. We only ever just broke it through, and we haven't been down since. So if we are going to have a strong push down in the market, that's more or less where I'm sort of seeing it going. And obviously jumping through here as well, is if I jump in here and I go to the weekly, I know Benjamin Kwon, I actually like him very much. I think he's a great guy you guys should be following. I think he's really good. And here he's also been explaining that you've got the 200 weekly MA moving average, and that's sitting at 20K as well. So there's just another high time frame to say that, you know, we lose these zones and we start to really start accelerate. Now, for me, I personally obviously wanted this run to be stronger. I've had a lot of conviction through the time. And now it's at that point where this is where it gets a lot more tough. And this is where shutting off a lot of your wallets and being patient through these times, unless you are able to be adding at these times. I won't be crazy at these zones now because we haven't gotten that capitulation. Now, what do I mean by that? Guys, we need something that shows us a lot of buying volume. Like, we need this long tail candle. We need a big increase in price. We need something that shows us that people are buying at this level, because I keep looking here at where we're at right now, and I just don't see it. I don't see any big buying right now. I don't see anyone buying this level, which usually means we're going to be going lower than this point. And at some point, we'll get that capitulation candle. We'll get that strong wick sort of candle. So for me, at this point, I am prepping for the $25,000 to $20,000 mark. I am setting limit orders for those zones. I don't have the capitulation candle that I want just yet. So for me, it's not done. I'm not going, you know, I've been buying a lot of tops, a lot of middle parts of these things, and a lot of bottoms. You know, 2 years ago, I was getting a lot of entries. I still have Link at $2. I still have these. But now these things are getting back to those zones again. And only if I can get them back to those regions am I super interested. So I'm setting these long-term sort of wicks. But what I am looking at here, guys, is if we do have a temporary sort of bounce in the market. Okay, so let's just see if I can get the right charts up here. Here we go. Okay, now I still, everything for me at this point is pointing towards down. And because we didn't get this, if this is a bounce now and we start to make our way up, I'm sort of seeing us going to go test the resistances that are around $37,000, $38,000 sort of region. And if we don't break through that, and we don't get through that, I'm exiting a good portion of my portfolio to be safe. I'd rather be buying a retest if it does break through at that point. But for me, the damage was done yesterday. To sell now, I'm being an idiot because I'm selling off into everyone's fear right now. But if Bitcoin bounces here and it makes its way to the zone and we don't crack through the zone, I'm going to be getting out a lot into the market because, for me, this is the last chance for Bitcoin until we get to really sad levels. Now, is it sad? For me, it's massive opportunity. It's like if we can catch, guys, you're very blessed if you can catch Bitcoin back at 20K, 15K, 10K, these sort of levels to be buying it. Like, you don't even understand what you're buying as a 10-year hold and into that. Like, your Sailor will burn, but Sailor will buy. I promise you, Bitcoin goes to 20K, he'll get money from somewhere and he'll be buying. And if it goes to 15K, he'll be buying more. And Elon will be buying. And all the rich guys will be damn buying. All the superstars will be buying if it goes to those levels. We're very lucky if it does get to those levels, especially for your long-term growth, for your next 5-year, 10-year growth. Like, to get it at those zones, it does suck because at times we chase, and like even me, I've bought a lot at higher points. But if you're really looking for good opportunity and these sort of things and catching it at these zones, like Sailor gets liquidated, yeah, we'll see. He's a clever man. These guys prep. You hear what you want them to hear. And then that's something always. So for me, guys, to the zone, to 38, if we don't break through that, I'm offloading. And from that, I'm then looking at, if we don't make that higher high, I'm then looking at the early 20,000s. Now, obviously, we look at that and we look at, let's go through some altcoins quickly. Obviously, before I jump there, I look at the Bitcoin dominance and I look at where dominance is sitting and it's sort of trailing sideways right now. So the whole market's getting damaged. It's not just Bitcoin, it's not just the altcoins. Yes, altcoins maybe a bit more at times, but the whole market's getting damaged. Now, I want to emphasize how big this can actually be, guys, because if I jump here onto the total market cap, okay, of the whole crypto market, we had a sort of wedge to the upward side, a sort of channel to the upward side. Now, we started to break that. Now, if it was a bounce now from Bitcoin and we do bounce 31, the break of 38 is super important for me, and that will take us up to the region of this support over here. We got to break back into this channel on this next leg up. We have to. If we don't break through this, and I'm going to show to you guys why, yeah, Terra completely destroyed, but I'm going to explain to you why it's so important. If we don't break into this, and I'm looking at the test, the test, if we go there, we don't break through, we can then look at the next leg down. Now, look at the next levels and where this can go, guys. Because if we test here and we break down, we can be looking at another 400 billion exiting the market. We can then be looking at the highs of 2017. There's the 200 MA. Like, it just shows you that this is the crunch time for Bitcoin now. If we don't break this, like, we can be looking at another 50% collapse within everything, within the altcoins, within Bitcoin, with all in that. Now, all of that means is even, think about it, guys. We've been through these cycles before, right? And there was many guys that feel the same way we feel right now, that bought all of these. They bought them. You know what I mean? A lot of the guys bought the similar regions to where guys were buying at these zones over here. They waited out a cycle, and obviously they got rewarded for all of their hard work at that time. A lot of them didn't. The sad thing is a lot of them took their loss, sold out there, and then they bought here again. That's just how great the market's been designed and how good it is at getting you sort of trapped in it. But the same thing for that is if we do go into something where this does retrace all the way back down to where we started, and that means coming all the way back down to these regions, it just shows how, the dollar costing, the making sure you're out of the shit. Rand said it many times that a lot of these coins, 95% or 99% of the coins won't be here anymore. And this is how it will happen. It will happen through something like this where we really shoot back down. And the sad thing about this, guys, is if it does happen and we do come down to these zones, we can be looking at a sideways market for a while. Now, a sideways market will be a range market. They want to call these bear markets and these sort of things. Yes, we're in a bear sort of market, but a bear market's a ranging market. It's a market that's got a big range. It doesn't break highs. It doesn't break lows. It just moves, you know what I mean? And you can be looking at that for Bitcoin, let's say between 20K and 40K. That can be the zones for Bitcoin through that sort of level. But the only difference is if we come here, I think it's going to take a lot of time. Like, I literally think we could be looking at the next bull market in 2 years, in a year, 2 years, which means all we can do is accumulate in these times. There will be short-term trades in between that, but you first got to get rid of the mess. You should be trading nothing short-term now. If you haven't had stop losses in play, that's fine. Like, now you got to basically move. You got to move into conviction mode and you got to move into accumulating mode. That's the best thing you can do. So let's go through here now quickly, and because I want you guys to mark all of these one thing I saw that was powerful was 1 Bitcoin is still worth 1 Bitcoin. You want to keep looking at it that, like, how many Bitcoin can you get? Try to accumulate as much Bitcoin as you can over the next 5 years. If it goes to 10K, you can accumulate a lot more than what you could have at this prices now. You know what I mean? How much Bitcoin can you accumulate? Keep just focusing on that. And I promise you, over 10 years, that's going to do really, really well for you. So looking at ETH now, let's go through some alts. And I want you guys to chart this as well, because this is basically printing on all the altcoin charts, just so you can see that if things go wrong now and this market really collapses, where can these alts really go? Like, where can these things really end up? And if we look at ETH now, ETH's done well. It has done really well, but it does have a major support at around $2,100, $2,200. And a drop of that takes us down to 1.6. A drop of that takes us down to the all-time highs. And that's sort of when I'm seeing that, like, a bad scenario and everything shifts and turns now. This is where I see ETH coming back down to these levels. So you can be seeing, like, okay, we look percentage-wise, same as Bitcoin where we're at right now, another 40% down within the market. Now, let's go to the big one, because I know this has hurt. It's hurt a lot of people. It hurts a lot. And I think, again, it's another lesson. All we can do, these markets, if this coin and the what do you call it? Tokenomics and all the stuff they've created to save by the peg. If it's really that good, it will recover in time. It will get back to these levels again. If it's really that good as what they say. Right now, Luna's being tested like it's never tested before. And it's sort of what you want it to happen. You want it to be tested in its worst scenario and to see if these guys get through it. Now, for me, the damage is not done in Luna. I'm still seeing a $14 to a $19 Luna, which is basically the previous all-time highs in that sort of region. So it looks like a bit of damage now. It can, for me, in the short term from here, make its way back up to the region of $50, $55. That might be a short-term exit point for me, just because we have no idea what's going on here. It can get a lot more uglier than what it is. And I feel like there's a lot more tokens that can be, of course, we can all be millionaires in 2-3 years. That's the truth about it, guys. Everyone made millions from 2017. They didn't make it all in this bull run. They made it from those times, and it's conviction. We can't say that the whole world's not talking about crypto. There's sponsors everywhere. It's massive. Like, crypto's going nowhere, and it's here to stay. And you can see here with Luna, guys. So it obviously shot through everything. We're going to learn again when things seem too good to be true. When Luna literally rampaged from $5 to the region of $120 within a few months. And then we had the second rally, and it was sitting at that $100. Like, you're not promised. I had a fib that says 130. That's great. But anything you've made tremendous amounts of gains, you're not promised that it's going to continue at those points. Same as the Zol pump that happened a month ago. Like, it's just another lesson. If it's great, like for me, I am buying more Luna, but I'll only buy between $15 and $20. For me, it's straight back from the start again. For those who bought and laddered in there, conviction, you believe in Luna, you believe in what it's going to do, you got to hold throughout it, and you got to see that they're going to sort everything out. But short-term frame, if it does go to $50, $55, $60 in that zone, I'll be offloading. I still feel it's good gains from what it's done in the last few times, and then I'll be waiting to load up in these zones. And same thing with Luna. This is not going to be a quick recovery, guys. This is going to be something that, let's say we do have a little short-term pull-up there, that's great, but at some point we'll make here, and it's going to be a slow Luna for a while. They got to recover from this. There's a lot of confidence that's now dropped within Luna, and it's going to take a lot more time for it to get where it needs to be. And this is just where you wait. Be a mini whale. You may not have as much money as the whales, but be a mini whale and accumulate in the right stages. So you can see Luna, it took the hit quite earlier. Now we look at one like Theta or any of these sort of tokens. See where all these tokens started. And for me, if Bitcoin, if it doesn't hold these zones, now I'm not selling my Theta now, as I missed the opportunity to sell it. I'm just looking at more whale sort of levels that I want to be loading up on more of it. But if we don't hold this level of 31K, Theta's going back to 80 cents. And you look at that now from where it is now, this coin for me is still one of my favorites over a long-term view. And I'm just trying to see where I can accumulate as much of it as possible. I feel like I did crazy things, and now we're in that phase. The only thing is it smashed another low now, which means we're still waiting for the consolidation sideways market and then the continuation sort of zone. So for me, for Theta, if it doesn't hold here, you can look at a short term. If the markets bounce here, a short term pull up back to the region of $2.53. If you can't afford to hold that through the next year or 2 years, I'll be offloading some at that zone, and this is definitely my levels. But do you see how a lot of the altcoins all that's going to happen is it's going to come back to where they started. It's going to come back to the previous all-time highs before we started this big rally to the upward side. We look at Polkadot. This is where Polkadot started, in those zones. And if Bitcoin doesn't hold that level now, Polkadot's coming straight back to where it started. So guys, this is a whole complete reset of the market. It's literally the whole reset of the market if it doesn't. So bearish, yes, but it's not bearish if you really want to accumulate. Like if you really want to accumulate, that's fine. If we do get a temporary bounce, I'll be helping you guys for those who want to offload or in losses, they can't afford to take the loss in that. We'll look at, but now it's time to be realistic at these zones. Like I was bullish as long as Bitcoin was above 37, 38, in those levels. And since we've dropped that, this is not good. This is not good at all. Like we cannot deny it anymore. And looking at DOT now, DOT can come back to $6. You know what I mean? So you can see how dangerous we actually are in the market. Same as Chainlink. Chainlink can come back to the previous all-time highs, which was there in 2019, which is $4. We can be looking at that. Look at Solana. So I want you to take to this on any of your altcoins and go look back from where they started. And where they started is a big level that if Bitcoin doesn't hold, this isn't a panic out session. You want to panic out if we do get a bounce in the market and we don't break a higher high, start getting out of the market. That's a very, we don't, the damage is done now for the last few days. You wait for a little pull up and you start exiting on those. But if you're looking at opportunities to hold, I won't be buying anywhere in these zones. I'll be setting the long-term candles now, the limit orders for now, and I'll be patient because we can be looking at, Solana coming back to $35 to $40. That was the zones we were speaking about it last year. It can come back. It can come back. It never tested it. So it never tested these zones before. So the fact that it's testing it now does make a lot more sense. Look at MATIC. MATIC can come back down to 50 cents. Come back and test these original zones. It's very similar to a lot of these. Look at VET. VET can come back down to 2 cents. Look at Thorchain. Thorchain can come back down to $1.5 to $2. For me, it's an absolute, like if you have money at that time to accumulate, whatever it would have cost you, it's literally costing you 90% cheaper. You can have 10% of the money you had here and you'll buy the same amount of tokens. Like it's quite crazy. Let's talk about Fantom. It was one that did very similar to Luna. It had these crazy pumps at these zones. The money was very easy to be made. I'm sure Miles is not happy. I'm sure the guys are not happy at this point right now. But it's the name of the game that we're in right now. But for me, a lot of the guys were talking about buying them at these zones and stuff. And now you're sitting at a 60-cent Fantom. If you don't want to buy now, like when are you ever going to buy? You're going to wait again for it to recover and then buy at those sort of zones. The graphs look crazy, guys. They look crazy. But if it really looks too crazy to you, just remember you've been through this already. Like you've been through this. So if there is another 40, 50% down in the market, it's terrible, but you've been through a big part of the market already. You've gone through a lot. Like you've learned a lot through these times. It's not always this terrible. I promise you, it does get beautiful at some point. But let's be realistic now on where this can actually go. So Fantom, I got some levels at 30 cents. I got some levels at 42 cents at those zones. And I've stocked up a little bit at the zone of where we're at now, very little. But these are the zones. These are the next zones for Fantom and the next sort of levels we're looking at. You can be looking at a 40 cents to 30 cents Cardano. You can be looking at a $35 AVAX. These coins in their prime, we know what they do, guys. They do crazy things. And these are things we got to be prepped for now. These are things we got to start being realistic about and where we're looking at. So for now, what I am looking at is Bitcoin shoot to these levels. If it does, if we drop it at any point, we're going there, guys. So I'm not buying at this level. I know it looks like a very juicy point. If you do want a dollar cost and you're holding for 5 to 10 years, go mad. You know what I mean? Dollar cost into the zones where we're at right now. I'm not. I'm actually looking at where can I offload next as my first sort of zone. And if we do drop down, I'm ready to buy the specials from where we're sort of sitting at. So right now we're in the middle and we had a very crunch time for us to have a look at. So we'll see where we get from that. And that's basically it for now, guys. You can go through any of your altcoins and go look at where any of them started. We can look at Atom. Where did Atom start? It started in these zones over here. Go look before the bull cycle on where we started. And that's very much likely where we can be going. And then what's going to happen is we're going to range, go sideways for a while, very similar to these sideways phases over here. Remember, this sideways phase, let's get my Koki out here. These sideways phases, this is accumulation over time, equals the result. So the longer we accumulate, the longer we go sideways, the bigger the next move, the bigger the sort of pump. And basically in these zones, you want to try find the range low, and the range low is your dollar costing zone. There will be short-term trades again, guys. There will be time for us to make those 30, 40% trades. Yeah, we'll get to that as we sort of go. So I wanted to show myself. I am still on a break, guys. I'm not back full time. I did want to obviously have a quick chat with you guys. We've been through a lot together. I know it's been quite crazy. I had a very different outcome when I joined Banter. I thought, okay, cool. Let me come in. Let me see if I can help change the world. Let me see if I can try be this person. And I'm actually very shocked. I'm actually extremely shocked, if I must be very honest with you guys. I'm very shocked how quick people quit. I'm very shocked how no one, we actually looked at our YouTube stats, and our YouTube stats shows that majority of our people that watch are 40 years and above, right? I'm 25. I'm the youngster in the zone. Yet no responsibility is taken at any single of these points. Like, I thought I'm going to come in here and we can do this together, and I'm going to have people that's going to work with me. But everyone just tries to put everything on you. I got guys that are trying to be clever as haters right now, guys that are trying to this. Guys, why is 7% of my whole audience only on CoinPanel? I've given stop losses on every single trade I've ever given. Why are you not taking responsibility and doing these things? Like, why are you not working with me? For me, if I must be honest, it feels like I'm wasting my time at times. You know what I mean? It feels like people are not listening. They just want me to be this guy that's just going to make them money and do everything for them. Like, for me to continue, if I must be very honest with you guys, I was nearly going to quit a month ago doing content. And it wasn't for the sake that it's hard or that it's tough. I'm just very shocked how the world doesn't stand up and put their big boy pants. Like, why don't they work with me? I want to show you guys something. If I go into my YouTube now and I go into Crypto Banter, you know that only 30% of the people that watch the shows have watched all the education I've ever done. You don't even watch the education. You don't even watch what I teach. You don't even watch what I do. You just want Sheldon to save your damn life every day. And guys, if I must be very honest, and this is to the haters and to the guys that blame and guys that are pissed off, like, it's actually pathetic. Like, I'm 25 and I can see that you take some sort of responsibility. And if you want me to continue this, and I'll get into that shortly, is you use the damn tools that I give you and you watch what I actually do. Stop wasting my time. Otherwise, I want to tell you, in the last month, I've managed to pull my whole family back together. I've managed to spend time with my little one. I've managed to do art. I've managed to have so much fun and find Sheldon again and recoup all the relationships that I had previously. Guys, I sacrificed everything for this show. I sacrificed everything for you guys. I left my hometown and came to the city alone, by myself, not knowing a single person in this whole place. I split from my family. I split from my friends. I split from everyone. And I sat every single morning to see how can I protect you guys? How can I jump on my computer and how can I make sure that I can change your lives and change your lives? But literally no one does nothing. They sit there. They don't even use the tools I give. You don't even watch the education that I do. You don't do anything. And you actually ran me dry in the last year. And I love Banter and I love doing what I do, but it's made my life and it's actually destroyed my life. And for me to come back, I finally had time now to think about things and to go through who is actually Sheldon. And I've actually had fun with my friends again. I've actually had fun with my family again. So for me, guys, to all the guys that are hating in that, and all the guys that blame everything on that, keep blaming. Even if you make a lot of money in the book, you're going to lose it all. Like, if you're going to keep blaming others and you're not going to put your big boy pants on and stuff, you're never going to make it. If we're going to work together, I promise you we're going to kick ass. Now, to those who are here and have supported me from day one, guys, I'm going nowhere. One thing that's made me anywhere that I am where I am today is I never give up. I never give up. Shit didn't go right. Oh, well, we'll fight it through and we're going to make it. And those who want to fight it with me, I promise you, we're going to sit in 5 years' time and we're going to be very, very chuffed at what we've done and very proud of ourselves for what we've done. I'm never giving up on you guys. And I'm going to be here and I'm going to continue for you. That's the reason I'm actually here today, is for you guys, for the guys that have supported me and the guys on that. Guys, I've stayed away from the show for 3 weeks and I've accomplished so much. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do the show. I don't need to do this content every day. I don't need to do any of it. If you want to be a part of this and you want to do it, you use the damn tools that I give you. You watch the damn education that I do. You watch my shows and you learn with me every single day. And we do this together. And I know there's an audience. There's thousands of you that will do it with me. And to anyone that has to say anything, doubt me. Keep doubting us. Keep doubting the guys that you think that won't do it. Keep doubting and watch again in 5 years. I'm not stopping and I'm never going to stop. I have so many new adventures I'm bringing to you guys. But guys, put these pants on and stop your shit. Otherwise, unsubscribe right now, get off right now and leave. I don't need you. It's actually very, very, very annoying. And to obviously the community, I love you guys. To all of that, we're going to kick ass. Screw these haters, screw these guys. We can't control it. We can't move the market. But I promise you, we're in the right industry and we're learning so much through these times and we're going to do very, very well. I promise you it's going to take over time. So I love you lots, Banter fam. I'm still on break right now. If the market moves again and we have that relief bounce, I'll be back on again. And if it collapses, I'll be back on again. And we keep them going. And I'll see you all at the top. I love you lots, Banter fam. And I'll see you all soon.